Okay, so welcome everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today. I am really excited to be here. This is my favorite part of my job. I always say this. I love working with the Youth Advisory Board, and we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs, and so this can be sometimes the bright spot in your day if you're on, like Emily said, Zoom calls all the time, too many. This will be a fun one to be on. I'm Beth Reel from the Connecticut Parent Advocacy Center. For those that don't know me, I'm the Acting Assistant Director, Transition Coordinator, and the Youth Advisory Board Coordinator. So I just want to talk a little bit about the Youth Advisory Board. I have a couple of slides that I want to share. So the Connecticut Secondary Transition Youth Advisory Board is supported by the Transition Community of Practice, Connecticut Parent Advocacy Center, CERC, and the State Department of Ed. So I'm just going to ask, if you are not muted right now, if you could maybe mute yourself, because we're getting a lot of feedback. They lowered the rate on Teltros to yeah. Okay, so that sounds a little bit better. Thank you. So the Secondary Transition Community of Practice has a core team that really does a lot of the work and a lot of the support around the Youth Advisory Board. So I like to give a shout out to everyone that has supported us in the past and is currently supporting us. It takes a village, truly, and we have some amazing people that have done a lot to support this group to get up and running and off the ground. So what is the Youth Advisory Board? So we are, like I said, part of the community, the Secondary Transition Community of Practice, and I'll give you a website so you can learn more about that if you're interested. And we provide a place for youth with disabilities age 14 to 26 to have their voices heard by people who plan for and support students. So one of the things, as I worked in the area of transition, I noticed is that we adults, many of us do not experience having a disability, do a lot of planning for students with disabilities, and most of us have been out of school for at least 10 years that are sitting at these planning tables, and we have no idea what it's like to be a student in high school, or a student in transition, or a student just out of high school. So it was the mission of CPAC and our partners to really bring the youth voice to the table in planning. So that's what this is all about. So like I said, we have different agencies. We support school districts, state organizations, all kinds of different places call on us and ask us for information and support. So it could be in the form of a panel like this, or live. Some of you have attended our live panels. It could be in the form of reviewing a document, writing a blog post, making a video, a variety of different things. Some students sit on the State Advisory Council for Special Education and other stakeholder groups. Stakeholder group is just a group of people that are interested in a topic, and they work together to make things better. So we look at building the personal advocacy and leadership skills of the participants. So that this is one of the ways that we do that, is for students and young adults that are interested in speaking up and having a voice and talking about their experiences. This is one way, and it's great for resumes and portfolios. So members include, like I said, 14 to 26 years old, and then we have mentors. We have some on the call today. We love our mentors who are over the age of 26 and have stayed with us to support the younger students coming in, students and young adults coming in. It's for students who have are interested in leadership skills. And we have about 25 active participants, and we have an email list with over 250 students and youth and people that are interested in Youth Advisory Board activities. So some of you may have received that. If you are interested in receiving that, you could put your email in a private chat. So instead of having the chat go to everyone, you could have it go just to the Connecticut Parent Advocacy Center, or that you could email me. I'll give you that email at the end of the PowerPoint presentation. So we try to meet 4 times a year. Obviously this year, 2 of our meetings will not happen with the community of practice in person. And so that's really why we're trying to go onto these live calls to keep the momentum going and to keep people involved. We again have the web-based calls that we have been working on getting up and running. Physical attendance is not mandatory, so we do have a core group that plans activities, gets together. Many of them are the people on the panel today. And then we have a lot of people that just look at our emails and say, oh, no, I don't want to be involved in that. And they ignore that email. And then another activity may come along that they are interested in. And so they reach out and get involved in that. So lots of different ways to get involved. One of the things we do to support youth on the Youth Advisory Board is we sometimes will have, so the one that says Christopher McCray, this is from a keynote speech that he did. So we created a little flyer about him if people wanted to bring him in. We create business cards for those that are on the panel. So again, oftentimes our panel members are approached and asked to come in and speak at different activities. So Jake, who I'll introduce in a minute, was just up in Maine a couple of months ago, I think it is now, right before the virus shutdown started to happen. So we offer those business cards as a way for them to be able to hand something out. We write letters of recommendation. So members have come to me and asked for letters of recommendation when they're applying for a job. So join our Facebook page if you're on Facebook, our Facebook group, I'm sorry. It's called the Connecticut Secondary Transition Youth Advisory Board Group. Oh, I think I need my second cup of coffee. I'm getting tongue-tied. And then for more information about the Secondary Transition Community of Practice, go to cttransition.org. And then this gives you the /students for the information about the Youth Advisory Board that's contained on that page. And then some contact information. So like I said, if you're interested in joining our mailing list, you can email me at breel@cpacinc.org, or you can put your email in the chat. Please send it private chat to me so that everybody on the call doesn't get your email address to me or to CPAC. I think I show up as CPAC. So that is what I wanted to say about that. The other thing I just wanted to remind everyone that this is a public call. And so things that you say here, we're recording this, it will be posted on our Facebook page, it'll be posted on our YouTube page. So I just want people to be conscious and aware of that, that you may or may not want to disclose something about yourself. It's completely your choice, but I just wanted to let you know up front where this information will be posted. So let's get moving here on the presentation. So I want to introduce to you the panelist presentations for today. Jake Shumbo. Jake, if you could just wave to us so people perhaps can see you. There you are. You can unmute yourself as well. Sarah, hi Jake. Sarah Madsen. Sarah, did I say your last name correctly? Madsen?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you could just wave so everybody can see you. Hi, welcome. Emily Ball. Emily, if you could give us a wave. Oh, hopefully Emily can hear us. Uh-oh. Emily's been having some sound trouble. Oh, we'll go back to Emily. Hopefully Emily will be able to hear us. And then Michael Scanlon.
Yes. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning. So thank you all for being, oh, Emily, hi. Yay. Can you hear us? Oh, I think
Hi.
it's being a little cranky. Oh, I think our internet just kicked her off. Nope, she's back. Oh my goodness. You just never know. You have to roll with it when we're on Zoom calls, right? Just roll with it. So we're going to just start by talking about how everybody on the panel is doing right now. People are using the term unprecedented, unusual. I mean, it's all of those things and more. So let's start with Jake. How you doing, Jake?
I'm alright. I'm adapting to our new normal. But, I'm doing what I can still working and researching the schools that I am interested in programs at these schools.
Oh, that's a great idea. So you're using this time to just do some research about schools that you're interested in going to.
Yeah.
Wow, good idea. That's awesome. We'll talk more about different things that people are doing as well. So let's go to Sarah. I know you're probably not in the same order, but I'm going in order on my screen. So Sarah, how are you doing during this unusual time at home?
Doing fine, but what's the news for coronavirus just scare me so bad. And the thing is, now I just heard the disappointing news that's really sad for every high school senior is that senior activities are suspended.
That's very disappointing. Yeah. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. So Sarah, you're a senior in high school.
Yep.
Correct. Yeah. And Jake is in his last year at his transition program.
Yeah.
This is your last year, right? You exit
It
this year?
is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Great. So thanks, Sarah, for sharing that. I think a lot of people feel this, very similar to the way that you're feeling.
Yeah.
It's scary and it's very disappointing because there's been so many things that we've had to cancel and give up. So thank you for sharing that.
But it's good for the safety and the health. Because if it were to come back, then it's like, I'm not going through this again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go to Michael. Michael, how are you doing?
I'm well, and I think I'm feeling very blessed that I do work full time and I can work from home most of the time in my role as a program coordinator for a behavioral health company supporting young adults in my full-time job. So I know not everyone has that opportunity. So, I'm definitely aware of how blessed I am to be able to not have a whole lot unchanged during this time.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Michael's one of our mentors. He's been working with us for a really long time. Someday I will actually go back and look to see how long that has been. But so we're really, really excited to have Michael. Michael is working at CPAC now, and Jake has been working with us as an intern as well. And then Emily, I can see you, and it looks like your video is working. So how are you doing right now?
Unmute.
Yeah.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just asking how everybody is doing. How are you doing right now during this really unusual time?
Hi, Beth.
Hi.
Hold on one second. We've been doing better. My husband's quarantined. He had symptoms last Friday, so we're hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
I was tested yesterday, but Emily can fill you in.
So how are you doing, Emily?
Let's see. Well, on a positive note, I began a youth outreach coordinator job with Path, who was the is the parent organization to CASA.
Congratulations.
So,
That's so exciting.
Thanks. I've been doing that. And when I'm not doing that, I'm, just watching TV and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Great.
No.
So let's talk about ways that you are all taking care of yourself. So self-care, we hear that term and how important it is to, really take care of your physical health, your mental health. So anybody want to pop in and talk a little bit about what you're doing right now?
I love to, yeah.
Great, Jake, thanks.
Well, every morning I start off by exercising, getting my blood flow going, and then I keep a good diet, and that just really makes you feel good.
Mm. That's
I
hard.
enjoy the outdoors as much as I can, being in my situation. And most importantly of all is spending more time with my four-legged best friend.
And I wonder how our four-leggeds feel about us being home all the time.
I think he made me happy.
I wondered if we're interrupting their nap time.
Oh, yeah.
I know I am.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Jake, for sharing
Yeah.
that. So diet, exercise, getting outside, those are great ways to take care of yourself and help with mental health. Anybody else? Sarah, Michael, Emily?
Is possible talk? Is Maria Ramos? And raise your hands.
Yeah, Maria, we're gonna go to questions after. Like, we're gonna talk to the panelists first. Sorry, I wasn't clear about that format. So yeah, definitely, I'll come back to you for sure. Is that okay?
So only I need to say hi.
Hi, Maria. So Emily, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I've just been, going along as much as I possibly can to stick to a normal routine, because that helps with my mental condition and things like that. So that's part of what's kept me sane throughout this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's great. That's another good strategy that I'm hearing people talk about. Michael, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, so to tack on to what Jake and Emily said, I agree. I think for me, supporting myself looks like having those solid foundations of, again, eating well, exercising, whether that's exercising indoors wherever you are, finding like a nature trail somewhere where you can have that social distancing aspect going. For me, I think what's helpful too is having a mindset of acceptance right now. Like, things are not going to be perfect. So even though I'm not like a totally type A person, I can kind of get like rigid in my thinking of like, oh, like I need to be like super productive, super like on point with everything. And it's just not realistic right now. So I think for me, it's been helpful just acknowledge like, all right, just do the best that I can do, take each day as it comes. And so I think, just kind of really acknowledging this is something new for everyone. And, this is something new. It's not gonna, it's not going to look the same for everyone. So I think that's been helpful in of itself, is just kind of getting that place of not having those super lofty expectations. I think another one is reaching out to others. I think when I'm stressed, I have a tendency to kind of like self-isolate a little bit. So I think it's been really helpful for me to just, in addition to doing those other things, really just making sure I'm calling friends, calling family, texting, doing other video chats. So I think that because people really do need people, there's that community aspect of human nature.
All really good points. Thank you, Michael. Sarah, did you want to add anything else about how you're taking care of yourself?
Take care of myself is just trying to get myself away from the computer, because all day I'm busy doing online school now. Now school's like being ordered to like be closed till May 20th, and now they should just like end this whole school year from online, or just shutting it down anyway. Because my reaction to the thing, if they open school after May 20th, I'm definitely not going to be satisfied at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're finding it hard to do the schoolwork online and stay with it. And
well, I mean, I'm okay. I'm okay with the online school, but after May 20th, if they announce they're going back to school, I'm not going to be satisfied, because it's way too much. You go back and forth, and for the other school, that's so miserable. I don't want to do that. It's like, stay home, stay online, stay home, stay safe. That's my protocol for this whole thing.
Got it. Good point. Yeah. So I know, Maria, I'm going to unmute you because you had raised your hand. Did you want to add something about, we were talking about mental health and supporting there?
Good morning, everyone. Only raise my hand, so say hi, everybody, and thank you for this space. Is very important for me, the Latin mother, for represent my group, the Latin group. So it's very, very important the CPAC continue this space, because for me, in my personal case, is so helpful every day. And 1 p.m. the super group in Spanish is awesome groups. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Did anybody else have anything? We can sort of open it up. I apologize for the puppies. The four-leggeds wanted to have their voices heard. Anybody else have anything that they wanted to add? Brian, I see you unmuted yourself. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, hi Beth. Thank you so much for the invite. I just wanted to say hello. I apologize. I have to leave the meeting in a couple of minutes for a department meeting. But it's great to see everybody. Jake, Sarah, Emily, Michael. It's great to see you and hear your perspectives. And thank you so much for doing this work during this challenging time. Just to let you know that the CSDE just really continues to support the work that you're doing and the positive influence that you all have, not only for students, but also for educators across the state. I wanted to thank you for all that you've done up to this point. I know that you, for example, have really helped us with shaping the new IEP document moving forward as one example. And Beth, what I was thinking, and what I'd like Jake and Sarah and Emily and Michael's ideas around this, but we've been putting guidance out from the state during this time pretty rapidly and pretty frequently. And I'm wondering if we can develop a structure where we can get input from this group prior to the release of future documents, because the student voice and the young adults that we have within this program, their input's so vital to some of the decisions that are being made. And I know Commissioner Cardona has reached out to students as well for things, like Sarah mentioned around senior activities and graduation, and a lot of those so important activities, and thinking creatively about how we can celebrate those things.
Yeah, graduation is, the picnic, breakfast, and the prom is off, but graduation is the most important one, because we can't have too much crowds. There's pandemic, and now we can just either do like curbside pickup, or do like a little virtual graduation, or just hear the principal address and be like, have anybody like drive by that be like wearing a mask and a cap and gown, like, hey, congrats. Then that's the thing, or have balloons. Like every year, Emily would get balloons. My brother got balloons on the mailbox. So I hope to get balloons on the mailbox
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you get balloons on the mailbox. Maybe we
Yeah.
all need
Yeah,
to
I hope I
drive
have a
by.
balloon or a sign saying, hey, I graduated 2020, new decade.
Yeah. There's a lot of people looking at creative ways to
Yeah.
have graduation celebrations because you all deserve it. I have a son who is graduating from college, and you all have worked so hard, and are all the kids graduating have worked so hard. So people are
So,
working on ways. Yeah. Thank you,
yeah.
Brian.
So
We would love
thank
to be
you.
involved in that. So for sure,
Yeah.
we'll
And
connect on that.
thank you so much for the invite. Sorry, I have to cut it short. And I just think that the students within this program can be so inspirational to others about some of the strategies that they're using and some of the activities that they're doing in their home through support. So we could talk more about that after. And wishing everybody health and at this difficult time. And look forward to future conversations.
Thanks, Brian. Take
Take
care.
care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So I see Denver, my friend Denver, who is also a member of the Youth Advisory Board, who knows that I always call on him. And so I'm wondering if you had anything that you wanted to add about the self-care. You're muted, my friend. Hold on. Are you gonna? Okay, I was gonna say I could unmute you. Yay! We've got you.
All right. I want you to know that I woke up at like 9:30 and got this email at 9:30 instead of 3 the other day. So I got ready wicked fast for you.
Thank you. You're the best. I appreciate it.
Yeah, anything for this.
Look fantastic. How are you
Anything
doing? How are things going for you?
Oh man, surprisingly well. Like this all happened right as I was in like vacation, the school I work at was in vacation mode. So this is like an extended vacation for me, and it's just it's fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, we're finding that some people are having a really hard time with this, and some people are loving it and rising to the occasion. Yeah.
I am thoroughly enjoying this.
Mm-hmm. Great. And do you have things that you do throughout the day that keep you going, keep you busy? That's the next question.
Yeah, I have a few things. Sometimes I help my mother with things around the house. Like sometimes I cook, or sometimes I go out and do a bit of yard work. Other times, whenever it's sunny and warm, I just lay out for hours because that vitamin D is so important for our systems. It's so important for happiness. You don't really get that when you're inside all the time, not really moving around. I take that opportunity as much as possible.
Awesome. That's great. All good suggestions.
And I've mostly
Go
dove into video games because that's just a natural escape for me. It's not the greatest escape, but hey, I go on there, I have an adventure on my own, or I go connect with friends and we go have our own adventures together. It's that sense of outside, but on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's that connection that we all need as humans, as Michael said.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for sharing that. So Denver mentioned video games. And Denver, you talk in the panels often about how video games are not really a bad thing sometimes. And do you mind sharing a little bit about
what about that exactly? Because I know
your point of view on that, where people, say, oh, video games are terrible and kids play them too much. But you talk about social connection on video games and circle of friends and things like that.
It all depends on it. Like, just like a couple months ago when this whole thing just started off, I picked up a new friend who is very similar to me, has very similar interests just from gaming. And it's fantastic to have that connection again, because I haven't had that connection in like so long, and it just feels amazing. And it's all just from sharing like a simple interest in like one particular game, and then it just grew into more. It just takes one little thing and then it just blossoms.
Wow. Great.
Now, what do you want me to say exactly about video games? Because I could go on a lot about this.
That's perfect. I was just, we hear so much negative, and, parents are often saying like, it's just such a bad thing. And I really have appreciated your point of view on that social connection and, people that you have met. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
truly an escape.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like you have talked about also that you try to balance it out with going outside and doing other things in your life. It's not all you do.
Yeah, no, I have a friend who lives 10 minutes away from me who I would pick up sometimes to go on adventures with. But we can't do that right now. Who knows when we'll be able to do that. I'm going to maybe try and get him over here in the summer so he can go swim in the lake. So he just doesn't, because he is all like super depressed and deprived. And it's so sad. That kid is not taking this very well. And I feel bad.
Yeah.
He's
There are
like,
a lot
I
of
want to
people
be taken
struggling.
out. Yeah, I was like, I want to like go out on adventures with you again and visit like the cities and all that. And I'm like, I am so sorry, but I can't right now. Wait a little bit. And you just oof, it was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about some of the self-care things are probably some of the things that keep you busy as well. Are there any other things that any of you wanted to add about ways to keep busy, like video games, websites? You know,
Well, yes, there is actually. I find that music is both inspirational, it makes you stronger, and is a different language in the sense how it conveys emotion and how you relate to that emotion. So anything from Alicia Keys to Marshall Mathers, it really is useful in life.
great. Yeah. We happen to know that you're a big Eminem fan.
Oh yeah,
We're just putting you out there.
I certainly am.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else?
To piggyback off of what Denver and Jake said, I've been spending way too much time on Twitter, but I've also discovered new artists that I probably wouldn't have done if it weren't for the quarantine. So that's cool for me.
Mm-hmm. And Emily, I know you have shared a lot of YouTube videos and things like that. Are you still doing that? Hanging out on YouTube?
Yeah. I haven't really, that's actually no. I haven't really, fooled around on YouTube looking for other disabled YouTubers, but a lot of the people that I'm friends with, from Instagram, from the disabled people that are on Instagram, I've created TikToks. So that's kind of made me want to create a TikTok just to follow them. I haven't done it yet, but I want to.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Anybody else have anything that they want to share? Anybody, we can open it up. You can unmute yourself and say something. So let's go to some questions that are in the chat then. So my colleague Lynn Rule, who some of you know, she's done some of the panels, would like to know, what is the first thing that everyone would like to do once we can go out again? Anybody want to jump in? Hi, Lynn.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
It's good to see you guys.
Hi.
You as well.
Thanks, Jake. So what are some things you want to do as soon as we can go out again?
Oh, go out for a walk, go get ice cream, just be outside, really.
And I'll bet you want to go fishing again, too. I remember us talking about that before.
Oh yeah, always.
Why am I not surprised that Jake's first thing is going to include food?
Ice cream. And
Jake's
then
our
fish.
total foodie, yeah. No, that's the thing. You don't
You're
have an ounce
not.
of fat on you. Yeah, yeah. Anybody else? What do you want to do when you can go
One
outside?
of the things that I want to do once like the public is open again, or when my parents feel safer going outside, which I don't know when that'll be, but I want to Mexican.
I'm gonna come hang out with all of you. I'm gonna go for a Mexican. I'm gonna go for ice cream. Yeah.
Food
Sarah,
seems
how about
to be a
you?
theme.
Yeah, right. Thanks. Sarah, what are you gonna do when you?
What am I gonna do? I want to go to a summer job after we go out. No matter if it's near towards Fall of Gateway, because there's much and nothing to do besides getting oriented. I just want to go to public orientation for Gateway, and I go to Gateway next year, and I could go first for orientation and just like and get some money like going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're keeping our fingers crossed for everybody.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I want to stay in here during the summer enough.
Yeah. We really want everybody to start where they want to go in the fall. Michael, how about you? When you can break out, what are you going to do?
For me, I'm an avid reader, and so you guys know Book Barn, obviously Niantic, so it's one of my favorite places in the world to just kind of spend half a day getting tons of used books and movies there, and it's my own little like secret haul, so that's like number one on my list.
Nice. Yeah, we're fans of the Book Barn. It's right down the street from CPAC.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm wondering if I don't recognize a lot of the names. If there's other students and youth that are on that want to jump in or ask questions. Sarah talked a little bit about online learning. Is there anything else, Sarah, that you wanted to share about classes online, how things are going?
Well, classes online, thing is everybody needs to have a device and have internet access.
Mm-hmm.
Thing is, I wish I could have a free internet in this time, especially with snowstorms and all that, besides the pandemic and the flu season. I mean, it's like this. I mean, the benefits for online learning, schools should have online learning on snow days because there's no reason for kids to be just hanging out at home and just has to make up the days because it really shortens their summer, and that's pain. Like I've had this done before in elementary school, and there was like a snowstorm, had like tons of like 10 or 12 inches. Then had the summer short, and everything was taken away. It's like I don't want to do that any longer. So I hope next year they get this online learning going or something the night before, just to predict that's the night before. It's the morning all day. It'll snow for a few days, or during we just give them online learning. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. So we have another question too, from Adriana, who's also a colleague at CPAC. How are you guys coping without seeing your friends?
I've been Zoom calling my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so it may not be in person, but I am still connecting with them.
Yeah.
One thing that, sorry.
No, go ahead, Emily.
One thing that helps me, well, this is usually like,
oh, her internet is freezing. Maybe we can come back to
like
texting
and video chatting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Great.
My opinion on how to cope with friends is how I cope with not seeing my friends, just try to connect and like just try to like do things I like to do, like watch a TV or just going on their devices. So addicting, and I got social media, and I usually connect with it. But the problem is, social media is now so challenging. It's now so challenging because you have to like get out of these really strict privacy policies, and now with the Zoom, I really want to connect on Zoom more than the social media because it's too much stuff for me. It's like, no way, but I like it. But a lot of people aren't really texting us social media right now. Just it's like what's happening around us, and it's, you know, and friends. I'm just trying all I could. It's like get in touch with them because they're doing online learning, and I just email them or just trade contacts, like be like, hey, what's going on? It's like maybe just do a check. It's like because I'm just on social media. It's like they just post things saying I'm bored. This is what I do in quarantine. It's like, go ahead.
Yeah, good points. Yeah. So we have a couple of other questions, and I know we're getting to near time. So one of the questions is for those who are online learning, what challenges are you facing? And that can be, we can open that up because I know Jake and Sarah are, I don't know how much Jake online learning you're doing. I know Sarah is.
I'm not doing all that much yet. You know, I have been researching colleges and programs that I like to pursue, but I have not started any as of yet.
Jake, is that in your IEP? You're searching or researching colleges and programs?
It is, yeah.
IEP goal, yeah. Great, so you're continuing your transition program by doing some of that research.
Yeah.
Great. So another question for students, what type of distance learning do you find most beneficial? Do you like Zoom or one-on-one Zoom meetings, group meetings, packets from school? What kinds of things do you find most effective or most beneficial?
I like to access Zoom more because like Google's such a pain, and now with the Zoom thing, I really like the Zoom because you get to video chats, and just do chatting instead of like with the hassle. So just check his social media frequently, and with the distance learning, it's really benefits like doing group stuff, group instruction, and like doing one-on-one, especially sharing screens with people just showing you what you're having difficulty on. I had a one-on-one Zoom meeting with my math teacher on the units on interest, simple interest, and I got to help out doing math help with a math tutor now. That's where I am.
Great. Anybody else have any input on that types of learning? Even I know we have some parents that have older kids that are learning online. Do you have any input on that? No, everybody's quiet today. Second cup of coffee, guys, I'm telling you.
My input is just helping your children out with online learning because technology is so difficult around this generation, and I'm just getting used. I'm used to this whole thing now, and ever since I'm doing instead of packets, I don't like paper wasted, so it's better just do it electronically or in partial paper, or just do something attached. Like I print out my math worksheets, I just do a scan, just send it by email.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Michael, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, so I'm not in college this semester. I took a little bit of time off between some job changes, so I'm not like currently in the weeds on this now. But I think for me, I guess, hearing about everything and just like thinking about it, I think, I know we talked about this, Beth, I think even just having those conversations, and I know everyone may be feeling overwhelmed and stressed, but I think just whatever ways of opening up communication with your teachers, with administration, on just finding as much of a win-win opportunity as possible. I know it kind of goes back to like not being perfect, like in a sense. Like for me personally, if I was in school right now, you know, needing this, I wouldn't worry about getting the straight A's or whatever. I would just, again, going back to that mindset of doing your best and realizing everyone is, you know, we're all in this together. And so if you do need support, just articulating, you know, again, CPAC is here for that. You know, that's why, you know, you could even have, you know, private chats with your classmates if you want to like go over some material, or, you know, as parents, you could even try to connect with other parents, you know, in your child's school, to just finding those resources and really opening it up and reducing the isolation. And, you know, and instead of us feeling like we're all in our houses or wherever we are alone, I think just leaning on each other and being okay with asking for that help.
Great, thank you. Emily, yeah?
To piggyback off of that, I am so glad I am not a student anymore, because all of these, like, you know, stories of how bad or somewhat good but mostly bad the online learning is, I only took two classes online in college, and one of them I completely regret with everything in me, but another one I loved because my professor was very basic and he spelled everything out, whereas my other professor, who the class I took my second semester of college ever, was very difficult and I struggled a lot. So I really think it all depends on, one, the content material, and two, I don't know how to word this, but your teacher's learning style. I don't know. Okay. Because, I mean, personally for me, if I have information in chunks, like separate chunks, and I'm able to digest it at my own pace, I love that. But for certain things in my professional life, where everything is in long paragraphs that keep going and going and going, because of the way my brain operates, I can't, you know, I have to like go back and do things like that. So it all depends on like, I'll go back and like reread, but it all depends on like what the student's disability is and how much the professor is willing to work with the student. And actually, I remember, I mean, I know we're short on time, but I just have one last thing. Actually, there was one time where I was doing like really poorly in one of my classes because of my mental health disorders, and I had bombed an exam, and my professor at the time had known that it wasn't, you know, my usual work, like how I usually worked. So he offered to have me retake the test, which I think is really great. Like, if you know that a student is struggling, to help to like try to help them in any way that is beneficial.
Great, that's such good information. And Robin says, I've learned so much. You all give such good advice. I will pass it on to other students. Thanks, Robin, from everybody. Maria, did you have a question or a comment just before we wrap up? I see you have your hand raised. I don't know if she's still on. It's been a little bit.
We don't need more time than an hour.
I know. And we
Mhm.
were hoping to do some of these chats on Tuesdays and Thursdays in 20 minutes. Haha, that's not happening.
That is funny.
So I'm just going to ask you all for a really quick wrap up. Is there one last thing that you really quickly want to say before we end the meeting? Anybody? Jake?
Yes, there is. Believe in the mindset of more and never accept what you have if you know there's more out there to achieve.
Great words, Jake. Thank you.
Um,
Sarah, how about you? Any last wrap up words of wisdom for people watching?
My words of wisdom: don't give up. Don't give up on the work, and just go with. And don't be afraid to battle this whole coronavirus thing, because you got heroes around you, like the healthcare, the frontline are still with you, and if you have any, just look up any resources or anything to cope. Or I think if you need any self-care, just try to reach out to somebody you familiarize with it. Just try to get them connected to you, even after they don't talk to you. After a situation, or just you put something negative to them, just try to reconnect it. Try to get some positive through each other, because it's way too much affecting mental health, and you could just get so lonely after this pandemic. You just don't want to say. But I mean, I just don't want myself falling into that pit of just getting so much in. And whatever you do it, just try to find easiest way to connect, like phone call or Zoom like this, and Zoom and or social media if you're convenient, but just try to find the level of contact you want to do. But just don't let other people's boundaries impact you, because I know it impacts me. Just how am I supposed to be treated fairly after get myself mentally well? And that's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Yeah, lots of good points in that. And yes, shout out to all of our frontline workers, for sure. We really.
I gotta chime in.
How about Denver? Yeah, I was actually going to go to you. Must have been.
Yeah, well, I still can read your mind even through a screen. Aha. Well, with this, since I was one of the early ones to get laid off and be jobless, I would like to put it as, don't think of it as a negative experience. If you just do that, you're just going to get yourself all locked up. Take this time to actually explore yourself, figure yourself out. Yes, it's scary outside, and the world's all confusing and everything's uncertain, but just ignore that. Just ignore that. Just put that off the side. Look at you and be like, what can I do? How can I help this situation? Or how can I be a better version of myself? Because that's what I've been doing. I took this time for the past 2 months, and I'm supposed to be back at work a long time ago, but I've taken this time to actually figure myself out, think of what I want to do after this pandemic, figured out what I can do to keep myself healthy, mentally sane, and just to build up and be a better version of myself. Because, oh man, did I need that? I need it real bad. Real bad to rebuild myself from past traumas and heartbreaks and all that. Just look at myself, not anyone else. God, has it been a blessing.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. How about Emily? Any last words of wisdom?
I just think that, I've been in my house for, it'll be coming up on 2 months and several days. And it's really been really good, because I can basically do everything I need to do from my house, even though certain aspects of my professional life and my personal life have been greatly disrupted. But I'm used to that. And for anybody that, needs to have a gentle reminder, it's just, we're all in the same, boat, and everyone's experiencing the same thing, even though some of us aren't dealing with it as well as others. So.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Last but not least, Michael, any words of wisdom for us?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think, such great feedback from everyone. I think for me, the virus has touched everyone in different ways. So not to diminish the suffering anyone may be dealing with, but I think for me, reminding myself this will end at some point. I can't guarantee when or, how, but this won't last forever, and life will get back to, our usual routine at some point. So I think that's helpful for me to make note of. And yeah, just really accepting and, like Denver said, working on yourself and really accepting what you kind of can't control right now.
Great. Well, thank you all for being here. I appreciate every one of you willing to come onto the call and share this information. We're getting clapping hands. There's lots of thank yous in the chat box.
We need more than just 1 hour. We really do.
I know. Yeah. Michael and I have been talking about at least monthly calls or meetings. I call them calls. I don't know what that is, but anyway, at least monthly meetings. So keep an eye out on the email, the Youth Advisory Board email for that. And like I said, if you are not on that and you'd like to get that information, then go ahead and email CPAC or email myself. Put your email in the chat for privately to me. That works as well. And I hope that you all continue to stay healthy and will join us again to come and chat with us. So thank you everyone for joining us today. And this will be posted on Facebook because technology, Facebook Live did not work for some reason. So we'll share it, and then you're welcome to share it with other people. And it'll be on YouTube as well. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.